Al McGee with YETicket.com. I'm here with two great people for their movie, The Dark Divide. First, the director, Tom Putnam, and the actor, David Cross. Man, I'm excited. The first question is to Tom. Tom, as I stated earlier, The Dark Divide, I thought this was a horror film, but in a way, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of everything, right? It's adventure, comedy, drama, a little bit of horror, maybe a little science fiction or
Right.
what have you. I like how you said it. You kind of gave me the chills when you turned up the bass.
And David, you played Dr. Putnam and
Dr. Pyle.
Dr. Pyle. Thank you, Dr. Pyle.
I like the sound of that, though.
Dr. Pyle. And in this role, well, I didn't know a lot about Dr. Pyle. He wrote a couple of books. He's a butterfly expert. But when you went off into this journey as the actor, you made him seem like he didn't know what he was doing. And really, he really didn't.
Well, first I just want to amend something. Tom is not just the director, but he's the writer as well. So,
right. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a choice to make the real Robert Pyle was not as naive or unprepared as I played him, and that was a choice we made. I mean, I was basically a babe in the woods. I mean, the way I played Robert was like really naive. I think the real Robert could survive a little bit better than, I mean, the way I did him, he barely gets out of there, by the skin of his teeth. And guess what? Teeth don't have skin. I just found that out. I was Googling that. Teeth don't have skin. That's right. So all of a sudden, the phrase makes sense. I get it now.
Yeah. It really
Skin of his teeth. Okay. Okay, I get it.
I like where we're headed. This is good. We're getting somewhere deep.
It is deep. Getting back to you, Mr. Director. Now, Tom, why did you decide to...
Can we stick with doctor?
Sure.
That was like something happened when I heard
Dr.
that.
Director. Dr. Director.
Dr. Director. Well, Tom, why did you decide to write and direct this film? What really attracted you to this film? Because, his character did not seem to be that interesting until you put it on film. So why were you attracted to this?
I read the book about 10 years ago and immediately fell in love with the story. So it's the true story, the book, and a lot of where we filmed is in the Gifford Pinchot National Forest in Southern Washington. And I grew up near there and spent, first 18 years of my life, just about every weekend hiking, fishing, and camping there. And I live in LA now. My son's 12, and those are his favorite things to do. And reading the book just took me back and reminded me what an important place that was for me. And I mean, living in LA, you don't get a lot of nature. And it reminded me about that as well, and the importance of nature in our lives. But it also, I really, you said this character wasn't that interesting, and I found the character in the book and the real Robert Pyle to be really interesting, and I felt like they sort of spoke to me. I mean, I could relate to them a lot more than I can relate to like somebody in the Fast and the Furious or some other like action movie hero. And that was something else I loved, was a movie that took somebody who felt more like me and sent them on this journey and let them be the hero in their own action movie and go through something pretty amazing. Well,
David, did that feel more like you? Is that why you played this role?
In what sense? And did what feel more like me?
As far as going into the forest, as far as
No, that is, I'm not, I mean, I would be even more ill-prepared and naive than Robert in the movie. I mean, I know nothing, and I'm not comfortable in that setting. I don't mind going in. I mean, I've camped out a handful of times where you pitch a tent and you go to sleep and then you wake up and you roll it up and you get back in your car and you go home to where it's warm and you have bagels, but I'm not even remotely close to that, being comfortable in the woods for that kind of journey and trek. No.
Well, who's to say that the chemicals that we spray on so-called nuisance species aren't affecting other insect populations? You know, and that's another reason why my Gifford Pinchot expedition is so critical. Nobody has amassed a comprehensive list of the Lepidoptera in the region. And until we catalog all the species that reside there, how are we going to know whether their numbers are dwindling?
That is a great point. In fact, tell us a little bit more about this proposal of yours. Now, I assume that you already have a start date, you've planned out.
Well, no, I don't have a date as of yet. My class schedule is just crazy.
So you're going to summer break.
Oh,
that's terrific.
summer makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I don't have a date as of yet. It's really a complicated endeavor, gentlemen.
Yeah, it must be. You've been talking about this for years now.
Yeah.
So, Bob, will you bring your supplies with you, or are you going to have them dropped by helicopter?
Well, I suppose there's you bring some and then others are dropped.
No, so you had never done anything like that on your own, huh?
No. And I couldn't, that's a skill set. And, you know, to prepare for this, one of the things I did was I went to the actual Gifford Pinchot trail, some of the trails that we were going to shoot on or nearby, with a survivalist who hipped me to a lot of stuff and, you know, taught me how to pitch a tent and stuff like that. But, that's just not my skill set. I can write good sketches. I can write really good comedy sketches.
Oh, you can.
If I had to go to the woods and write comedy sketches to survive, I could probably do that. But actually surviving, I don't know.
Well, Tom, so why did you pick David for this role?
I mean, David's, having made the movie, I can't imagine having made it with anyone else. David had brought a few things to the table. I mean, you saw the movie. There's not a lot of dialogue in the movie. And David has a kind of unique ability to keep us interested and focused and have us sort of see the story through his eyes. He's also amazing with the comedy, and you saw the movie has a lot of comedy in it. And then he's amazing with the drama, which, you know, not a lot of people who can do all of those things. And he was really flexible in terms of the production. I mean, we had a whole lot of times where we woke up in the morning planning to do one thing, and then like there was a thunderstorm or couldn't get a gate unlocked or whatever, and had to shift gears. And he was somebody who was willing to like collaborate and huddle and figure out, okay, what are we going to do instead of the thing I spent 10 years writing that I couldn't shoot because it was raining.
There was one thing where it was just like, all right, it's raining, get your cameras, send me out there. And I went out and, you know, well, what outfit do I need? I got to change my outfit. I just went out in the rain and went, you know, and they're yelling, all right, go to your left, go to your right, go back, turn, run up the hill. You know, it's a lot of that. Like, that's all we can. That's all we got. We didn't have the luxury, like, all right, we'll chill out in our trailers and then we'll do it after lunch. There was none of that. So, yeah.
And even that crazy butterfly scene where you almost fall off the cliff, that was something where I remember us kind of walking back and forth along the cliff, and it didn't look like how anybody expected it or how it was written in the book.
Well,
and just sort of
the safety crew people that were like assigned to the movie said they wouldn't let us shoot wherever the scouting took place. That we got there and they're like, no, you can't do this. Are you insane? You're going to get killed. And then we had to go along the ridge and find another spot. And I'm, you know, it sounds great now, but it's not that helpful on set. Then I'm like, I can do it. I don't give a shit. I'll do it. Throw me down there. And, you know, but we found a place to do that. But the initial place, they were like, no, you can't. You're crazy. And I think...
Now, how many days did you spend outside or making this film?
I think 600.
It felt like that.
22.
22.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Short.
But in the film though, he stayed in the woods a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 6 weeks.
Yeah, he did.
The magic of movie making magic.
I love it.
Hey,
But
Al, I got 1 minute and then I got to jump off to do my next thing. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I mean, you were saying you didn't think it was that helpful at the time. I mean, the movie would not be this movie had you not done that, or like said, yeah, put the towel on my head, or.
No, I don't mean that necessarily, but I understand what you're saying. I'm saying that it doesn't help when you're trying to, like, when everybody is trying to get on the same page and appease the safety people. It doesn't help to have the actor going, yeah, I can do, the thing that everybody else is saying, no, okay, well, we can't shoot here. Let's go find a safer place. And then one guy's holding it up going, I could do this. Guys, I totally got this. That's a bit of hubris would have been helpful. Al knows what I'm talking about.
Nonsense? You're talking about a species that will never be back. We'll never see it again, along with who knows how many others. And once they're gone, that's it. They're gone forever. Okay? You don't get to snap your fingers and have them come back. They're gone forever, and all we have are memories.
Have you ever seen a spotted owl?
No, because they're very rare. Because they're endangered.
Well, count your lucky stars. Mean sons of bitches. I'm glad to see them gone.
Hey, that's terrible. That's a terrible thing to say.
I'm sure it is to someone like you.
Okay.
Thanks to misinformed do-gooders like yourself, there's too many trees, too much brush, too many regulations.
Okay. Fewer plants mean fewer insects. Fewer insects mean fewer frogs and birds. Fewer frogs and birds means fewer larger mammals. Fewer of them means fewer of us.
On that, we agree.
Okay, good. Good. How, in what way?
Is there anything that looking back, you're like, I shouldn't have done that?
Yeah, the thing in the stream. I said, yeah, let's go shoot this. Nobody can tell that water is 34 degrees. Nobody can tell. And that we could have had a better, you could have gotten what you wanted if we were somewhere where the water was, wouldn't kill me.
Where it wasn't coming off of like a snowpack, like 50 feet away.
It wasn't literally ice 20 minutes prior to being in that stream.
That was definitely my scariest day. That and the lava tunnel may be tied.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
For sure.
Wow. I wish I was there to see that.
Yeah, I'll give you directions.
Tom, good to see you. I got to jump off because I got to get on the next thing.
And David, thank you. And I've always been a big fan of yours for many, many years. All your comedy shows and sketches and things. And I'm so happy to talk to you for this brief moment. Thank you for making my day and my life. I'm a big fan of yours.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Al. Nice to see you guys. Good talk. And I will see you. Stay safe. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, David. So when you see the movie, and he's in this giant lava tunnel underground, that's David. When you see him hanging off of a 300-foot cliff, that's David, or in freezing cold water, or in a thunderstorm. Yeah. I mean, that's why I say, among many reasons, I can't imagine this movie getting made with anybody else. He was willing to really live it. And sometimes it felt like we're making a documentary about his character just going through these crazy things.
Right. Now, also, I see that, did you also write the script with Dr. Pyle?
It's based on his book, which is called Where Bigfoot Walks, Crossing the Dark Divide, as well as 7 of his other books. So during the 10 years we spent trying to make the film, 7 of those were spent writing and rewriting and rewriting the script. And Bob was really involved with that. I mean, he was so generous and willing to let me move things around and sort of take this big sprawling nonfiction book and make it something that felt like a more linear movie. He was really involved. I mean, he would come to set while we were shooting and offered a ton of amazing script notes. I mean, it's it's based on his life. Most of those scenes happened. It's based on his wife, Tia, and all those scenes you see are from their lives. So I wanted to be really careful to do it justice. And he reminded me about a bajillion times about his other friends who had written books that were made into movies that they didn't like. So I was very conscious of wanting him to be proud of it and feel like it represented who he is.
Well, he should be, because, like I said, I really enjoyed the film, and I'm a city guy, and just like David, I don't really do any camping and things like that. And when I was watching the movie and I was observing him, for example, the scene with the bear walking around him and things like that, I would have ran away myself, and I wouldn't have screamed because I didn't want to attract the bear's attention. But that was a lot of tension right there, but not a lot of tension where David made it a little comical, but natural. Did you direct him to do that, or did that just come naturally from the script?
It was a group effort. It was a place I wanted it to go. I wanted it to feel like a real movie and real reactions, but hopefully we laugh because we say yeah, that's probably what I would have done. I wouldn't have done any better. It's like, he's not in The Revenant, right? Where he's like, all right, I got a knife, I'm going to kill the bear. He tries to run away and he slips in the bear poop and is panicked and almost forgets his pack. And David he wrote this really great line where I laugh a lot watching the movie. People seem to find it funny, which is great. But I think it doesn't feel like it's yuck funny. It feels like
right.
A real guy. And it's funny because he does what you or I would do. He runs away from stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Of course. No, 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 no.
Now, also, you had another great actor there, Deborah Messing. She's in this film. And how did she feel about working with this project?
She's awesome. Deborah, one of the reasons Deborah wanted to do the movie was because her mother died of cancer, similar cancer to what her character has in the film. And most people think of her from Will and Grace, but I think not as many people know that she's a very highly trained dramatic actress, has been in amazing plays over the years, from Angels in America to she had a play that was about to open in New York when COVID hit. And it was great to just kind of hide her under the wigs and the makeup and the prosthetics and things and have her just embody her character, Tia. And Tia was a real person. She was Robert Pyle's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And of her own volition, Deborah tracked down members of Tia's family, talked to other people who had similar cancer. A lot of the clothes and the jewelry she wears in the film were Tia's. All the artwork you see is Tia's actual artwork. And she just brought her to life. A lot of her scenes are done in 1 or 2 takes. And it was amazing seeing her and David together too, because we shot fast. They were only together maybe 2.5 days of filming, and they really, to me, feel like a couple who's been together 20, 25 years, and they have the good stuff and the bad stuff and the baggage, and then the little surprises. I think she's somebody she and David both have really been surprising people when they see the movie.
Like I said, it surprised me. Now, just one more question. What do you want people to take away from this film? How do you want them to feel about, this film, but not only that, their own environment around them?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. the movie was going to come out in March, and then COVID hit and the whole world went on hold. And we had this long conversation internally about, hey, do we sit on it for a year or a year and a half, or do we try to release it? I'm really glad we released it when we did, because I hope people take away two things from it, which so far they seem to be, which is, number one, if you're like me and you've been cooped up in your house the last 6-7 months.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Boy, it feels good to spend an hour and 45 minutes in like one of America's most beautiful wildernesses on this big, epic, transformational journey. Kind of forget yourself and go for an amazing hike with David Cross. But then I think on a deeper level, I think it's a film that is about the importance of nature and protecting it, and the importance of nature in our lives. But hopefully it's also, especially now after the past few weeks and months, is a reminder that change is really hard and terrible things can happen in life. And if you stay true to what you believe in, stand up for what you believe in, and do the work, which is hard, there can be something really, really hopeful at the end of it. Like the work is worth it. That was the thing that really struck me about Bob's book, and that I love about the film. And we've been hearing that from other people. Like, they're finding it really inspiring, not just to get out and take a hike, but we cover everything from how different cultures interact to the sort of like liberal elite view of the world compared to like, Joe Sixpack loggers. And in the film, they may not agree, but they sort of all somehow manage to find, just like they did in Bob's book,
right,
a way to communicate and find common ground so they can keep talking.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound good right now?
Yeah. Sounded good to me.
Yeah.
And it also made the film interesting to watch, and also made the film, well, I'm going to learn something also while I'm being entertained.
But hopefully entertained first and foremost, right? You go because
Yes.
It's the adventure, and David's awesome and you want to root for him. But then I think when you're done with it, it gives you something to think about.
Well, it gave me a lot to think about, because I'm a person who really loves nature, even though I am from the city, from Chicago originally, and now I live in Florida. And I am really concerned about what's going on in nature. I watch a lot of David Attenborough's videos and TV shows, and I read a little bit, and I read a lot. I see a lot on television. And this is one of the reasons what really attracted me to this film. And I have a review up already about the film. And
Cool.
And I really enjoyed it. Well, Tom, thank you for taking time with me, Al McGee, here at yeticket.com. And what's next? I know we got the COVID and everything. No one has not been able to do anything since March, but you got anything down the pipe I should be looking for, or you'll just put it out there?
First time I get some sleep when this is all over. You have a couple documentaries that we're finishing up that should hopefully be out first part of next year. One's about, they're totally different than this movie. They couldn't be more different. One's about this kind of notorious rap group called Insane Clown Posse that's been
I know them. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been making a movie about and with them for the last 6-7 years. They've been in this giant lawsuit with the FBI. The FBI declared the band and their whole fan base a gang, which means it's like you're wearing a concert t-shirt and walking down the street. That's probable cause. The police can photograph you, put you in the gang database, can't join the military, can't get student loans. You can lose custody of your kids, which happened. And so we've been with them through the whole lawsuit, and we just finished the last shoot with them, and we're just about done. And I made a movie a few years ago called Burn about Detroit firefighters, and we have a follow-up to that movie that we're just about done with. So doing a couple more documentaries, but maybe do some more fiction, hopefully, if the gods will it.
Yeah, right. And this pandemic will discontinue some way, somehow.
Man, I think it's going to be with us for a while, but I hope we figure out how to do our best, right?
Yeah, prevent people from dying so much, and things like that. Even myself, I'm afraid. I don't want to get it. I'm an older guy myself, and wow, Oof, it's scary.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that have had it, and I work with firefighters a lot. And like, I know I have friends who've died, who've had their one had his daughter die. She was 5, and it's just
Wow. Wow.
it's
horrible.
serious, right? And
Yeah. It is serious.
And these things bring out the best and worst in people, usually the best and worst in all of us. And so it's just sort of, how do you like keep living life, but do it in a way that's responsible? I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. But Tom, I want you to stay safe, and thank you very much
Thanks,
for
Al.
letting you take time with me. I really appreciate it. And
Thank you.
Everyone watch The Dark Divide.
By the way, the film is out on DVD and video on demand November 10th. It's coming up. And you can find links to watch it and watch the trailer and a whole bunch of other cool stuff at darkdividefilm.com.
Wow. You summed it up very well. I enjoyed that.
All right. Thanks, Al.
Thank you.